And welcome back to NorCal Sports TV's live coverage of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase. I keep wanting to say West Coast Pacific. I don't know why. It's just what I want to say.
You say the word Pacific a lot. That's probably why.
Probably why. And now we are going to have a battle of two 1-1 teams, Notre Dame de Namur and the Concordia Irvine Eagles. The Eagles won the first game against Biola 10-2. Notre Dame de Namur won their second game against Biola 9-4.
Yeah, both those teams really put up a lot of goals in their wins against Biola and Concordia. It's going to be interesting, Ethan, looking at this game because Notre Dame de Namur is coming off a little bit of a break. They had a game break. Dominican just beat Concordia 6-4. Dominican, by the way, have won both of their games by the score of 6-4, coincidentally. And well, this Concordia team, we're going to see right away if they're tired. If they are tired, it is going to show right away. And it's warm out here on the turf here today in San Rafael at Kennelly Field, as it is 75 degrees. But we're going to be able to tell if this Concordia team is going to be able to hang for 40 minutes against Notre Dame.
Yeah, we are here at the beautiful campus of Dominican University of California, where Kennelly Field is located. And, of course, we got a beautiful view of Mount Tam off of the back, off of the south end of Kennelly Field.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm so used to being on the other side when I'm here.
Well, that's still south no matter where you are on the planet. So
yeah.
Sorry to break that to you.
I'm all over the place right now. It's been a full day.
Well, lucky for you, we're about ready to go.
Yeah, we are in game 5 of 6 as Corpus and Espiritu in the center circle for the face-off, and it is a flag throw, and the Argonauts have control, but a wide throw through the back, and we'll see what that flag is.
Well, not even 10 seconds into the game yet, and we have 2 flags lying on the turf.
Can't tell 100% what's going on yet. No referees getting in a huddle and chatting. That was a story of the Dominican and Concordia game. A lot of referees huddles talking about penalties, and it looks like it was a foul against Concordia, and it will be Argonaut ball.
We have a new keeper in the goal, Ethan, as Garrett Netter is back in the cage for Notre Dame. He was in the cage for game 1 in their 6-4 loss, and then Julian Lewis was in the cage against Biola in the 9-4 win, so it's interesting that they'd go back to the same goalkeeper that they had in the loss.
Well, we'll see how that pays off, as Bennett Duffy has been a very strong linchpin of the Notre Dame offense today. Works around a couple defenders, trying to get it towards it. That is Alois. Dumps it off to Shallot, back to Duffy, and he takes the shot, and yes, it did. It found the back of the net, 1-0. The Argonauts strike first.
Good shot taken there by Shallot on his right side, and Schweikert, after being so good in that first game against Biola, where he only gave up 2 goals, he gave up 6 against Dominican, and here right away in the first minute and a half, he gives up another goal. So Schweikert, he looked like he peaked in that first game, Ethan.
And also, Concordia has given up at least 1 goal very early on in both of their games. As now we get ready for another face-off. Tristan Corpus back in there, and Nick Flores for the face-off, and Corpus wins it. And like you said, Flores, Corpus is probably the best at face-offs.
Boy, he's so good at face-offs. Best one we've seen today.
A lot of everything going on around the crease, and it's finally scooped up by Schweikert. Ball almost intercepted. Can't find it, and it's finally picked up by an Argonaut. And he throws it right back to Mikey Haas, who can't corral it in time. No one can seem to get a hold of it.
Yeah, I think slippery, Ethan.
Now a fast break for the Eagles. Takes the shot, and we're all knotted up at 1.
Boy, Mayo has been so good for Concordia here all day. Very consistent offensively. Had consistent velocity on his shots as well. Makes it tough on goalkeepers.
So Bennett Duffy and Brandon Mayo trade opening goals in the first 3 minutes. We are all tied up and 1 apiece. It will be Woolery and Tristan Corpus for the faceoff. No, it's not Tristan Corpus. It's Bennett Duffy. We've seen him take a couple of faceoffs today.
Yeah, Tristan Corpus has definitely been the superior of the two, but I'll tell you what, Duffy's also done a very good job on faceoffs.
The referee blows his whistle, and we are underway, but this time it is Woolery who's able to win the ball initially. The ground ball along the near sideline. The ball will roll out, and it'll be called green ball.
Make the play. We had an opportunity here on Media Row.
That is Andrew Bloom cradling the ball, aiming for the far sideline, waiting for his offense to get in check, and he dumps it off to Zachary Carter, who just entered the game, and Daxton Allison. Carter pushing the ball, looking to find the crease. As Brandon Mayo has been so dangerous today, gives it off to Andrew Bloom. Bloom working around, finds Allison. Allison looked like he geared up to take the shot. Now he does, and he finds the back of the cage. 2-1, Concordia leads it.
Yeah, he pump fake first time, got his defender to move, went around the defender, shot low. A nice shot there by Allison.
And Allison, who's been very much a physical force in today's game. And Allison, who's been such a physical force in today's game, giving a little bit of finesse.
Yeah, he showed off the pump fake, as we said there. Nice job to get his defender to jump. And just like that, Concordia looking dominant like they did in that first game against Biola.
And now the faceoff in the center circle. Bennett Duffy against Espiritu. Ethan Espiritu. The ball's loose. Espiritu wins it. Goes on a fast break. Looking to take the shot is Woodward, and he does. And he finds the upper corner. 3-1. Concordia leading it.
Jackson Woodward so good with the stick, looking like a wizard on that play. Goes top shelf and gives Concordia a 3-1 lead.
Well, Concordia, after a bitter defeat to Dominican, where they dropped by a score of 6-4, coming out guns a-blazing here against the Argonauts.
Well, when we asked the question, how is Concordia going to respond, one, after the loss, and two, playing back-to-back games against Dominican and now Notre Dame, and so far we haven't seen anything that's phased them.
Now a face-off in the center circle. This one will be Nick Flores versus Tristan Corpus. And Corpus is mesmerizing when he's going up for the face-offs, as he seems to win every single one, and the referee will call a hold against Concordia, and it will be white ball. Cradling it is Ethan Gilbert. Called his name quite a bit today, and he finds Nathan Shallett. Trying to work around the cage, gives it off to Jake McFarland. McFarland getting a lot of stick checks. Needs to find someone to give it to, and he finally does. As the Argonauts being very patient, down 3-1. And we saw this when they played Dominican. They were down 5-1. They took their time and eventually got back into the game. Shallett gives it off to Alois. Fires it along the far sideline. That was McFarland over to Saab. Back to McFarland, back to Shallett. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. They finally take a shot. It'll go out of bounds and it'll remain in Argonaut control. Alois was closest.
Ethan Gilbert had a good look there, just spun around too quick, didn't find the goal in time before he let the shot go.
Alois trying to get a spin move on, working around the cage, trying to find someone open with a clear shot, and he gives it off to Saab. Saab back. Sub back. Oh, that was McFarland to Sub, or Sub to Gilbert. Gilbert now fires it in. He has a Alois. Alois, hard body check. Ball comes loose, and it's scooped up by McFarland.
McFarland's dangerous when he gets in towards the crease, Ethan. We see him score multiple times today from about 10, 15 yards away.
So McFarland took one step too many past that sideline, and he'll go into green control. Logan Perry with a fast break. He finally crosses the center stripe, launches it forward to Jackson Woodard. Back to Tanner Jones.
Got to watch out for Woodard and for Logan Perry. Logan Perry just in control. He's very elusive offensively.
Jacob Aho now with control. As he continues to push the ball forward. Just over 12 minutes remaining. Concordia looking to add on to their 2-goal lead. That is Mayo. Mayo with a poor pass, but great reaction time by Logan Perry to snare it out of midair. Goodell's turn with control. He's looking for a shot. He doesn't have one, so he gives it off to Aho. And now Concordia being patient as the NDNU defense, and he got dewanded. Well, the referee will blow the whistle.
Concordia's really had a lot of time on the attacking half, Ethan. Notre Dame's had a couple of opportunities. We saw Ethan Gilbert with an opportunity, just didn't get his head around in time. Could have cut into this lead, and right now Concordia really controlling the pace of this game as they control offensively here.
And this is exactly what they did against Biola earlier today. They were the tone setters of the game, and that's what allowed them to win against Dominican.
Yeah, and then you had that game against Dominican where Dominican won that game 6-4, and you had two teams that have really controlled their first game offensively going at it, and it was who was going to persevere on the offensive half, and it was Dominican.
Woodard passes it back to Allison. Allison takes the shot, a nice save by Netter. Just got the cross in front of it. The ball will roll out, and it will be green control. As the Concordia Irvine Eagles now have it. Launches in back to Allison. Finds Woodard. To Mayo. Playing around the horn, trying to get it close to the crease to take the shot. You don't need to get it close, says Brandon Mayo. He finds the upper far corner in 4-1.
Yeah, Brandon Mayo once again, it's his second goal this game, Ethan, and multiple goals on the day for Brandon Mayo. He likes that far side, the lefty shot, and he makes him pay once again. Netter in the cage having a tough time, already down 4-1.
Concordia blowing off a little bit of steam after that very close game against Dominican, and unfortunately, it's the Argonauts who are taking the brunt.
Yeah. Both these teams 1-1 though. Both of them, they've shown that they're capable of winning.
Now a face-off in the down the center stripe. There's Tristan Corpus. Can't tell who's the other member of the face-off yet, but either way, we got a looks like a false start on that face-off, and it'll go into control of the Argonauts. That's Bennett Duffy giving it off to Jake McFarland. McFarland lets it go behind the crease, behind the goal to Eloise. McFarland trying to make a man miss, and he eventually will get rid of it to Couteret here along the near sideline. Working on a Concordia defender. He makes the pass, takes the shot, and there's a goal for the Argonauts. Looked like Bennett Duffy.
Yes, sir. Bennett Duffy once again. They tried that earlier with Ethan Gilbert. Gilbert didn't get his head around quick enough to take the shot. This time he did, and that was Bennett Duffy. He cuts the lead in half.
4-2. Concordia Irvine leads it. But we've seen the Argonauts have comeback capability as they just fell short in their loss to Dominican. As the face-off in the center circle will be between Tristan Corpus and Ethan Espiritu. And here we go, and Espiritu almost won it. He won it initially, and in the end, Concordia will gain control. Woodard trying to make a man miss. He got a clean shot, and into the back of the cage, 5-2.
You get a clean look like that, Concordia is going to make you pay. We saw them do it against Biola, adding on, winning that game 10-2. They didn't get as many open opportunities against Dominican, but Jackson Woodard got an opportunity there, and he made Netter pay.
And this is the most outmatched we've seen Tristan Corpus today in faceoffs.
And he won the first few.
The only one that Biola won in their second game, it was Bennett Duffy who took the faceoff. Tristan Corpus didn't lose one against Biola. And now he's lost 2 here against Concordia Irvine.
Ball start.
And it will be green ball. Andrew Bloom gives it off to Woodard. Concordia trying to keep their foot on the gas, leading it by 3. Under 7.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. And Brandon Mayo does it again, 6-2. Concordia leads it, and man, Brandon Mayo's been amazing today.
Brandon Mayo's beating Notre Dame by himself. That's his 3rd goal. You take all the other offensive players off the field for Concordia, and Brandon Mayo is still beating Notre Dame by himself. Boy, Brandon Mayo has been so good from that far side. that right side of the cage. This third goal of the game.
The referee's huddling over before we get another face-off here between Notre Dame and Concordia Irvine. Nick Flores for Concordia. It looks like Bennett Duffy might be taking it for the Argonauts. And it is Bennett Duffy. The whistle blows, and Duffy won it initially, but in the end it'll be Concordia who comes out with the ball, or so you think. Hard to pick it up. A lot of everything going on, but in the end Concordia is in control of the ball. Dumps it off to Allison. Working on Zach Waits. Two very big physical men going at it right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight being pushed around right there. You think both boys big?
Concordia trying to keep the pressure on. Leading it by 4, just under 6 minutes remaining. Just above 50 seconds left on the shot clock for Concordia. As they keep getting closer. That is Sean Goodell. He took the shot and it goes wide past the far post. Past the far pipe. And it'll remain Concordia ball. Takes the shot into a middle of a crowd. And Notre Dame will come out with the ball. And we had a change in goal during a little break.
Julian Lewis back in goal.
The Argonauts trying to cut this lead as thin as possible before the halftime comes along. Just above 5 minutes here in. And it'll be green ball after the referee blows his whistle. Allison in control. 4 minutes, 45 seconds remaining here in the first half. Concordia Irvine 6, Notre Dame Dana Moore 2. Allison muscling his way through a crowd to get to the other side. Dumps it off, trying to find space to take the shot, and he does! And into the back of neck, Jacob Aho. 7-2, Concordia Irvine over Notre Dame Dana Moore.
Yeah, Julian Lewis in goal there for Notre Dame, saying, how in the heck did that get by my cross? He's holding it up, looking at it, going, do I have a hole? Because I thought that I got my cross up there in time and went whizzing right by him into the back of the net.
7-2, Concordia Irvine leads here in game 5 out of 6 from the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase. I got it that time. Here on NorCal Sports TV. Ethan Estrada and Forrest Hunt. We got one more game after this one.
Another false start.
We got
that time it was on Concordia.
And now the Argonauts with control, down 7-2. We saw them against Dominican down 5-1, and they just chipped away. A very patient offense for the Argonauts as Sub dumps it off. Couteret now in control. Gives it off to Alois. Alois with a little flick. And trying to get the shot on goal, but the window closed very tightly. McFarland passes it off. Can't tell who. Bennett Duffy, his third of the game. And he cuts the lead in half.
And Bennett Duffy's been really good. McFarland's been good. This whole attacking force for Notre Dame has been good. They just haven't had many opportunities, Ethan. That's one of the few opportunities they've had here in the first half. And Bennett Duffy says, yeah, I can score two. It cuts the lead.
7-3, Concordia Irvine lead it. But if you take Brandon Mayo and Bennett Duffy out of the game, this is a 4-0 Concordia lead.
Yeah.
It will be Ethan Espiritu. And it looks like Tristan Corpus coming back in for the faceoff. And here we go. And in the end, Espiritu is the one who wins it. He flicks it forward, where it's scooped up by Tanner Jones, and a hard stick check. He lost control momentarily, but is able to recover and give it off to Andrew Bloom, who passes it over to Logan Perry. Just over 2 minutes left, 70 seconds on that shot clock. As Concordia or Irvine will now be a little bit more patient. Logan Perry surveys the field, finds Sean Goodell. Takes the shot and very hard and very high, and the Dominican lacrosse team is just spectating at this point.
Yeah, Logan Perry will take a shot. He's much like you look back at Tea Garden for Dominican. They'll take a shot on the field anywhere, anytime.
And the referee blew his whistle and gives possession to Notre Dame Dana Moore. Under a minute and 20 seconds here in the first half. Concordia Irvine lead it 7-3. Both teams at 1-1. Both teams losing to Dominican.
That's true. Dominicans coming up next. They're 2-0, playing an 0-2 Biola team.
Yeah, both their victories came against Biola and both their losses came against Dominican.
Cyclical like that.
Got a couple things in common. The ball will go out and it will be Concordia ball as time resumes. 45 seconds left here in the first half. Andrew Bloom cradling the ball, taking as much time as he wants with the shot clock at 69 and the game clock at 33.
Yep, this will be it.
Allison gives it back to Bloom. Bloom to Goodell. Goodell working around a defender. A lot of stick checks. Take the shot. And off of the handle of the cross, Julian Lewis is able to get the save. 10 seconds left here in the first half, and it looks like Concordia Irvine will go into the half with a comfortable margin of lead. Takes the shot. Lewis momentarily able to save it, but it doesn't matter. The horn blows and the first half is over. And a dominating first half for Concordia Irvine.
Yeah, Notre Dame just didn't have many attacking opportunities. When they did, they scored. I mean, we saw Bennett Duffy has 3 goals. I mean, you know, when you have that kind of success, you want to feed Duffy, but you really can't do that if you don't have many offensive possessions.
While you're watching NorCal Sports TV's live coverage of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase, live from Kennelly Field on the beautiful campus of Dominican University of California. When we return, we'll have the second half of game number 5.
Well, you should take her then, because Courtney's a gym rat. The gym every day. That's good if you will. Good for you.
Well, I've been too busy, but I've debated doing it. But I haven't. Okay, I shouldn't have started because I'm trying to get in good shape.
Just come in here.
It's hard when you win.
I'm not 55. That's all you have to know? So you just do nobody. I was about to. I would have hit it this week, but then I got sick. I probably should. There's not a lot of people that can do the 75.
Did you see Turbine is one arm?
Yeah.
I'm all,
Those weren't 45.
it's still impressive.
45. Those weren't 45. No, they were those, you know, the thick, big ones that are light, that people use for pressing. I think that's what they were. So they're big like a 45,
Yeah,
but they only weigh like 20.
it looked good.
And welcome back to NorCal Sports TV's live coverage of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here at Kennelly Field on the campus of Dominican University of California. Ethan Estrada, Forrest Hunton. Forrest, Concordia just dominated the first half.
No, they really did, and actually both teams are dominating offensively. Notre Dame just hasn't had that many opportunities. Concordia has really controlled the pace of play. They've really controlled everything offensively, and that's the reason that they're up 7-3. And I bet you if Notre Dame has the same amount of time of possession as Concordia did in that first half, this is going to be a close game coming down the wire.
Well, 7-3, Concordia Irvine leading Notre Dame Day Namur. Notre Dame dropped the first game of the day to Dominican 6-4 when it looked like they had a comeback opportunity, but they ended up falling 2 goals short. Concordia Irvine in their first game rolled over Biola 10-2, and then both of these teams, and then Notre Dame Day Namur beat Biola 9-4, and then Concordia lost to Dominican 6-4. Dominican, the only undefeated team on the day. As we get ready to open up the second half, it'll be Ethan Espiritu and Bennett Duffy for the face-off.
Bennett Duffy's going to be the key for Notre Dame offensively. If they get a lot of offensive possessions, expect to see a lot of activity from Duffy.
And it will be Espiritu who wins the initial face-off. He gets across the halfway stripe, working on Haas. A lot of stick checking by Haas as Espiritu finally gets it away, but a wide pass will go out. And it'll be controlled by the Argonauts.
This is their opportunity, an unforced error, bad pass out of bounds. This is the opportunity for Notre Dame on this possession to get a score and show Concordia that you're a force to be reckoned with on offense as well.
It'll be Asher Minnick cradling the ball. He dumps it off to Zenit, who is back in the goal. A lot of goalie changes so far for the Argonauts as Zenit passes it along the far sideline. That is Elefitz, who throws it upfield for Gilbert. A lot of stick checking going on along the near sideline as Jake McFarland gives it off to Mikey Hawes. Gives it to Bennett Duffy as they work around the cage and dropped in the back by Sub. It'll go green ball.
Yeah, when you have Sub, when you have McFarland, when you have Duffy, Hawes, all very good offensively and just an unforced error.
Pushing the ball forward for the Eagles is Logan Perry, trying to get past the stick check of Hawes, and he does, working it towards the crease. Has a good opportunity, and, well, he took it.
Yeah.
Top shelf goal, 8-3. Concordia Irvine widen that margin of lead to 5.
Yeah, Logan Perry was just working on Mikey Haas, and, you know, Logan Perry just much taller, much bigger. Haas was physical with him. He bumped him 4 or 5 times running down the near sideline, but Haas didn't have the bigger push. Logan Perry had the bigger push, and then when you're over a smaller defender like that, it's really one-on-one with the goalie. And Logan Perry capitalized on that opportunity.
Little over 2 minutes into this one, into the second half of this one, and Concordia Irvine already tacked on another goal. 8-3 they lead it over Notre Dame de Namur. It is Nick Flores versus Tristan Corpus, and Corpus is able to win it, but he loses control of the ball after a couple of stick checks and a whole lot of everything going on in that huddle. Who will come out with it? And it will be Concordia.
There's an opportunity for Notre Dame once again to get another big hit at midfield.
Connor Reed pushing the ball forward, trying to get a good look, has 2 Argonauts on him, and he finally dumps it off towards the center line, and it's finally corralled by Prince Tanner. Tanner gets it off to Brandon Mayo, who has been so dangerous today. Finally gets it off, and right there is Woodard. Woodard will keep control of the ball. You're up by 5. You got an 80-second shot clock that's only down to 40 seconds. Might as well try to buy yourself as much as possible. Andrew Bloom gives it off to Sean Goodell. Goodell takes the shot, and it finds the back of the cage. 9-3.
Yeah, Garrett Netter has come back in. We know he started the game, came out a little bit. Julian Lewis was in the cage. Garrett Netter now back in. And so far here in the first 3 minutes and 45 seconds, he's already surrendered 2 goals.
Just a little over 16 minutes left here in the second half. Concordia Irvine leads it 9-3. All 3 goals for Notre Dame de Namur scored by Bennett Duffy. But here early on in the second half, Concordia able to keep them quiet as Bennett Duffy going for the face-off, and he loses it to Ethan Espiritu, who launches it forward to Woolery. Woolery to Allison. As Concordia Irvine continue to be patient and find some open space. Allison gives it off to Mayo. Mayo avoids a stick check and tries to find an open shot, and he does that by passing it back off to Tanner. And Tanner finds Logan Perry.
You'd like to see a little more pressure from Notre Dame defensively, going out, like coming out to Logan Perry right now, pressuring him a little more. It's really congested right there in front of the crease, Ethan, which makes it really tough for your keeper, Netter, to see.
And Prince Tanner takes the shot, but it curves past the far pipe. But he'll still be in control of the Eagles as Jackson Woodard has it now, trying to go fast, gets around, and what a goal! My goodness. He flat out fooled Garrett Netter, and they put up a 10 spot for the second time today.
Yeah, fooled Garrett Netter, went right around his defender up and over from the back of the cage, and just like that, Concordia, as you mentioned, has scored 10 goals for the second time here today, and they still have 14 and a half minutes left to work here in this second half.
It'll be Nick Flores against Bennett Duffy, as if Concordia has any chance of getting back into this, they really need to win this faceoff.
We've said it all day. Concordia continues to pressure.
And here we go, and In the end, Bennett Duffy is able to get it. He scoops it forward and finally able to corral it. Throws it forward. That's Coudray. Coudray trying to work around McKendall Matthews, and he does it by dumping it off to Alois.
Alois is very dangerous behind the goal.
And now here comes the dangerous offense of the Argonauts as Bennett Duffy now with control, trying to work around, find a crease, takes a shot right into the cross of Tyler Schweikert.
Schweikert was very good in that first game against Biola, just surrendering the 2 goals. He's allowed 3 here against Notre Dame, and the only game Concordia has lost, he allowed 6 to Dominican.
The Eagles now trying to push the ball forward, maintain the pressure. Zachary Carter gives it off to Allison, who's cradling the ball. And then passes it back to Carter. Concordia definitely playing a more patient style game. Even though they put up 10 goals, it's because they've had the ball for majority of the time period in their own attacking half.
Yeah, they really have. That's really been the difference. And he had the opportunities that Notre Dame has had offensively here in the second half.
Brandon Mayo's shot deflected and picked up by Notre Dame Dana Moore. There goes Ethan Gilbert with a fast break. It's a 4-on-3 and off the near pipe. Trying to get the shot, but it deflected off the pipe. It'll roll out.
I mean, every chance Notre Dame's had offensively, they either shot themselves in the foot or had a bounce not go their way. And there's another bounce, Ethan, that doesn't go their way, as you mentioned, off the pipe.
Concordia ball, looking to maintain the pressure. There's Sean Goodell. Crosses the halfway stripe, keeping pressure moving. Goodell with a nifty spin move. But all he can do is give it off to Allison behind the cage. Andrew Bloom and Logan Perry playing catch as they try to find the lanes to work with to get close to the crease and take their shot. Logan Perry pushing the ball forward. He can shoot it from anywhere, and he does. And he puts it in the back of the cage. 11-3, the most goals scored on the day in one game.
Logan Perry's dangerous from anywhere on the field. We talked about it with Garrett Teagarden as well. They will shoot from anywhere. All you have to do is give them a little bit of breathing room. They don't have to have a big lane, Ethan, to shoot. And there, Logan Perry shows you just why he doesn't need a big lane to shoot.
So a face-off, but Concordia Irvine starting to pull away. Well, they were starting to pull away of at least 3 goals ago. Now it's 11-3, and they keep their foot on the gas.
Yeah, pouring it on at this point.
As we get set for the face-off, and it will be won by Concordia. Picked up the ball, fast break, looking for something to happen, but now Woolery will slow down and allow the offense to set itself. Gives it off to Brandon Mayo. Flings it to Prince Tanner. Tanner to Carter. Trying to find an open lane, but Concordia being very patient. They just had plenty of opportunities, as shown by the 11-3 score. And the shot, and in it goes again. No matter who's in goal for the Argonauts, nothing to show for it. 12-3 with just over 10 minutes left. And by far the widest margin of victory.
Pouring it on at this point, Ethan, you need a win at the face-off right here if you're Bennett Duffy.
If you want to have at least a chance to make this game close, this face-off is extremely important.
You know, Concordia in that first game, Ethan, against Biola, looked like the best team out here. You can argue that Dominican right now is the best team as they're unbeaten here today, but Concordia is really forcing the issue in this final game against Notre Dame that even though they did lose that game to Dominican, they are one of the better teams out here today.
Eloise with control, gives it off to Haas. As Haas and the Argonauts will play a little bit more patient. Just over 9 minutes to go. At least 60 seconds on the shot clock for the Argonauts as they trail Concordia Irvine 12-3. Eloise cradling the ball.
Might as well take your time and find an open lane, right?
Try to get a wide open shot to make this thing close.
Find something that works so you can build on that.
He has Sub. Sub trying to work around a defender. Can he take the shot? He dumps it off, and the shot goes very wide. I don't know if that was a shot or a pass.
He did have a good angle. Did not have a good angle at all. And taking that shot, that was Chalut.
It'll maintain and control for the Argonauts. That's Gilbert, who flicks it over to Eloise. Eloise tried to get it a shot, but nothing going on. He can't control it. It'll roll out of bounds and be Concordia ball. Play resumes fast. Moving forward is Connor Reed. Gives it off to Allison. Allison gave it a Tanner Jones, but a wide pass looking for Zachary Carter. Nothing going on. Very physical between Carter and Waits. And oh, we got a punch thrown and not looking good. Referee threw the flag in.
Oh, yeah.
That's not good.
No doubter. Zach Waits threw a punch at Zachary Carter. The two were fighting for the ball, and I believe Waits is going to be escorted off.
Now what you want is...
Yeah, they were stick checking each other, Ethan, over off to our right, way off to our right. The play was over. Somebody from NDNU came over and scooped up the ball, and Waits was frustrated with Zachary Carter and threw a punch. One landed, one didn't.
And that's a rough foul, especially since the clock continues to run. Your team is down by 9. You at least want to have a chance to get right back in it, and all of a sudden you burn a minute off the clock.
Well, and that's the point where frustrations have boiled over for NDNU, and his landing percentage with that right hook is 50%, but they're still trailing by 9.
6 minutes, 45 seconds to go as the referees continue to short out this mess. As Zach Waits threw a punch at Zachary
Carter. Carter, yeah.
Carter, yes.
He didn't like that Carter spelled Zach with a K because Waits spells it with an H. That may have been it. That may have been. We don't know what was said. We do not know what was said. Those two were stick fighting for the ball, and NDNU came and scooped it up, and Waits said, I have enough. I've had enough. Here you go.
And me and you were athletes. We know that there's some words that are always exchanged on the field out of ear range of referees.
Definitely.
And umpires.
You make sure that, well, and on that play, Waits probably thought that he was out of the view of the officials, which, I mean, everybody in the building knew that Waits threw a punch.
So now here comes Carter. Carter over Allison now with control, gives it off to Tanner Jones. The shot taken, and Julian Lewis, who's now in goal for the Argonauts. That seems to be a revolving door, is able to stop it.
Oh, it for sure is a revolving door. I mean, anything that head coach Thomas Hansen can do for Notre Dame, he's going to do to really stop the bleeding here.
12-3, Concordia Irvine lead, 5.5 minutes left. Lewis flings it long and just out of the reach of Ethan Gilbert. It'll roll free, and Gilbert able to scoop it up, even though someone got a stick on his foot, able to avoid two Concordia defenders, but he loses the ball. And out of nowhere comes Jake McFarland. He scoops it up. A flag flies as Notre Dame keeps control. Haas finds Gilbert, and Gilbert's shot goes wide of the far post.
There's a good pass into Gilbert. Gilbert just couldn't catch it, turn, and shoot all in one motion. He tried. He was close. Was unsuccessful, though.
Gilbert's had plenty of opportunities, especially in this game. He's had at least 3 that have sailed on him.
Quite a few in the first half alone.
12-3, Concordia Irvine lead. Game 5 of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here on NorCal Sports TV. Ethan Estrada, Forrest Hunt. Well, we've done 4 and a little over a half of the 6 games today. We got 1 more remaining. That'll come after this one. It'll be Dominican University of California, the only undefeated team today, going up against Biola, the only defeated team today.
Yeah, it's true.
As Eloise trying to find a way to get close to the crease to take a shot. Gives it off to Jake McFarland, who was sent to the turf.
Ooh.
And a dangerous stick check, and the ball will land right in front of Schweikert.
Yeah, McFarland took that shot from the seat of his pants. Doing all you can, really.
Down 12-3. It's any look you get, make sure you take it. As Connor now with control. Gives it off to Allison as time continues to wind. Here, getting close to 3.5 minutes on the clock. Concordia will take their time with 45 minutes on the shot clock. As this is by far the largest margin of lead today. Takes the shot and just off the near pipe. It'll go out and it'll remain Concordia ball.
He almost drilled his teammate Logan Perry.
3 minutes on the clock, 3 minutes away between Concordia Irvine and a positive record and a very good goal differential. Allison gets it off, finds Connor in the end. Prince Tanner with some fancy footwork. As Allison can't corral it, it'll roll towards the sideline, and it will be scooped up by Logan Perry. Shot clock expires, and possession will go to Notre Dame de Namur, and that's exactly what you would think Concordia would want to do.
Yeah, and that's not going to hurt Concordia by 9 goals here with just over 2 minutes to go. I mean, if you're Coach Brian Cooper, you're not upset if your team expires the shot clock on every offensive possession from here on out. That's only the second time today that we've seen the shot clock expire.
2 minutes remaining here on the game clock. Concordia leads Notre Dame de Namur 12-3. Game 5 of 6. Game 6 coming on right after this. Biola against Dominican. Prince Tanner looking for an open shot, but the Notre Dame defense able to keep him away from a clean look. Allison behind the cage gives it off to Tanner. Back to Perry. Back to Tanner. Well, 2 Tanners. And a body check ball on the floor, scooped up by Prince Tanner. With 35 seconds on the shot clock, 1:22 left on the game clock. That's all Concordia will do.
And if you're Concordia, you can get one more shot off, reset that shot clock, and really hold it. But now since Notre Dame has possession, the next time Concordia does have possession, you know they're just going to hold on to it.
You don't have to take a shot. Concordia with the ball. That was Alex Elifritz. Now it's Mikey Haas cradling the ball, pushing the ball forward, at least trying to get a feel-good goal to end this one. Down 12-3, little to no hope of coming back with 45 seconds left on the game clock. That's Couteret trying to work around. He gives it off. Alois. Back to Sub. Sub pushing the ball forward. Getting close to the crease. He lost the ball off of it after a stick check. Makes a man trip. Has a shot. He takes it, and Schweikert saves it again.
Yep, he's just going to sit behind the cage now, looking up at the clock, knowing there's only 10 seconds to go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this one is over. Concordia Irvine with the most convincing victory of the day, and after a frustrating loss to Dominican, poor Notre Dame de Namur, they took it all out on them.
Well, and then we said at the beginning of this game, Ethan, is Concordia going to be tired? Are they going to be tired? Because they just came off a game against Dominican where they lost, and are they going to be tired? No. They answered that question dominant here in the game against Notre Dame.
Well, 12-3, they take it, and coming up next will be the Dominican Penguins versus the Biola Eagles for Game 6, the final game of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here on NorCal Sports TV. And when we come back, we will have that one for you.